It is 5 o'clock somewhere, and you've tuned into Season 3, Episode 22 of BRC. For those of you who'd like to watch this episode, I highly recommend it. You can view Season 3 on our website, YouTube, Spotify, WhiskeyNetwork.net, and Zencastr. I'm Kerry Moynahan, and today I give you the inside look of the Nth, the world's premier whiskey and luxury spirits experience, which took place at the Wynn in Las Vegas earlier this year. I had the chance to speak with one of my idols, Master Blender Richard Paterson from the Dalmore, Deborah Stewart of Glenfarclas, Aberfeldy's Gareth Howells, Glen Grant's Alex Goode, and Bonnington Distillery's founder, John Kennedy. Then later in the show, I sit down with Jim O'Connor from Western Spirits Beverage Company, who introduced me to their premium bourbon line, Calumet Farms, as well as their flavored whiskey brand, Bird Dog. So kick off your shoes, pour yourself a dram, and join me for this episode of Barrel Room Chronicles. On Season 2 of Barrel Room Chronicles, I embarked on an amazing journey through Ireland, from Cork to Belfast, and nearly everything in between. Now I'm going to do it all over again. But this time, you're invited. That's right, join me this spring for a trip of a lifetime through the rich tapestries of Irish whiskey culture. We'll visit iconic locations such as the Titanic Experience and the new Titanic Distillery, and tour through the lush Irish landscapes and visit filming locations from the hit TV series Game of Thrones. We'll also visit historic sites, including cathedrals, jails, castles, and more. Plus, we'll get to distill our very own batch of Clonakilty gin. To find out more or to book now, visit barrelroomchronicles.com and click on the Brock Tours photo.
I am here at the Dalmore booth with Richard Paterson, the Richard Paterson. Look at this. Love it. Richard, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. And I see you have something you want me to try. What is that?
Yeah, it's so good to be back here in Las Vegas, especially to see so many whiskey enthusiasts. And that's what it's all about. All these people that are visiting the stands, whether it's Dalmore or Glenfarclas or Dewars or even Chivas or Johnny, it's all about working together and having a great time.
Wow.
And whiskey, that's what it's all about, sharing all these wonderful whiskeys. So this is a particular one I really love. This is a Dalmore King Alexander, the only single malt in the world with 6 different finishes. Port, Madeira, Marsala, Cabernet Sauvignon, small batch bourbon, and Metuchen sherry. But like all the whiskies, bourbons, cognacs, spirits, you must give it respect.
Yes.
So it's a matter of putting the whiskey in the glass and not knocking it back. That's right. You say hello to it, then you go back. And you say, how are you?
How are you?
Yeah, and then you go like that, okay? So what I want you to do, Keri, this time, to really appreciate it, you must put it in your mouth.
All right.
So you put it at the top of the tongue, then underneath the tongue, back in the middle. The longer you keep it in the mouth, the more you'll extract the flavors.
This man is so intelligent. I love
okay.
Hold on, here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, there we go. So that's it. So top of the tongue, just keep it there. Good, good. Then underneath the tongue, a little bit of spiciness, rich, right? Don't swallow whatever you do, right? Hold it back up the top. Keep it there, keep it there, keep it there. And then swallow and then take a big deep breath. Wait for it, wait for it. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello there. First taste is important, but you've got to have just one more taste. Just to make sure you get everything in. That's it. Just keep it there, keep it there, keep it there, keep it there, and then swallow. So when you go to bed tonight and brush your teeth,
this is amazing.
It'll come back again.
I have a story about this expression, actually. As I was telling you, I've been in entertainment for 20 plus years. And there was a point where, long story short, I had to take a full-time job instead of a gig work. So I got into entertainment news.
Yes.
Pluses and minuses. I mean, it was nice having a steady paycheck, but it's a lot.
But you're doing something that you love.
Well, not at that point. However, I moved into an online thing where we had like a popular stuff going on, and they did, they sent our producer of that section things to taste and things to try and products to do. And I was in the video and photo section because that's right.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, you like whiskey, right?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "Okay, well, I'm more of a wine person, and they sent me this King Alexander, and I need a review, and so you need to do the review." So I was like, "Yeah." So I did the review and I said, OMG, this is like
This is
the
something you
best.
like
It's,
doing.
yes. Well, yeah. I mean, I already had been tasting in my personal life, which is why she
Right,
asked.
okay.
But then the fact that she let me, and she goes, and I'm not a whiskey person, so you can take the bottle home. I'm like, okay, got it.
And that's how he got into it.
So, well, yeah.
Yeah. But it's like all the different whiskies here, they all have a different story to tell. And that's why it's so important that you see, okay, 80% of the influence for a whiskey comes from the wood.
Yeah.
But having all that influence and taking your time, you've got to take your time to distill it, take your time to mature it, but more importantly, you've got to take your time drinking it and sharing with the people that you love.
Love it. Richard, thank you so much. This has been amazing getting to meet the legend himself.
Remember, love makes the world go round.
That's true.
Whiskey makes you go round twice as fast. Thank you.
Wait, I got to tell you something. I was just in Washington at this small startup distillery, and it's actually coming out next week, this episode. And like this, they did a bunch of tastings, and then this woman came in and said, F you, I'm pregnant. And he's like, I didn't do it. And she's like, but I drank your whiskey so much that we got frisky, and now I'm pregnant. And then they now have like a bunch of people, and they have a little board, and the love is going around a lot up there.
Right. As long as you drink in moderation, right time, right place, that's important.
I agree.
All right.
Richard, thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you.
So my name's Deborah Stewart. I work for Glenfarclas as 1/3 of the international sales and marketing team.
Deb, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I am so good. I'm wandering here around the Nth in Las Vegas, which was supposed to come in April of 2020, and we know how that turned out. So here I am, and I'm so excited to be here. And you are with Glenfarclas.
I am, yes.
And can you tell me a little bit about what you guys are promoting here and what your role is and all of that goodness?
Absolutely. So obviously Glenfarclas being one of the last truly independent family-run distilleries, we're a small team. So literally there are 3 of us who look after all of the sales, marketing, MPD, brand ambassador, hosting, all these fun things for the whole world. My job is the Americas and most of Western Europe. And this is my first time at the Nth as well, because I also took over the US and Canada during COVID.
Okay.
So before that, it was just in Europe.
With like, what do you think about the Nth this year?
It's wild. Maybe that's just because it's in Vegas. It's my first time in Vegas as well, so that makes it even more crazy. It's not a place I've ever been. It's always a place I've wanted to go to. So, hey, my friends at home think it's crazy that I call this work.
All right. Every cab and every Uber that I've gotten in since I've been here. So you here for work or play? And I said, it's the same thing. Yeah. All right. So Deb, what do you have that you want me to taste? And maybe it would be something more in the high end year range?
Absolutely. So obviously we're very lucky at Glenfarclas because our range is quite big and goes quite high. So the oldest whiskey we've got on the stand today is our 40-year-old.
Oh, wow.
It's actually been on the market for a little while. But we also
It's almost as old as me.
See, I love that. So I used to say that I only drink whiskey that's older than me. It's too expensive for that to be the case all the time. But I do work in a distillery where it's still possible, and not many people can say that.
That's awesome.
But the 30 is probably the highlight simply because it's not available in the US yet.
Okay.
We're working to get it here, so hopefully by the end of this year it will be on this market.
That's fantastic.
It's been around in Europe, in Asia, but it's never been here. So that's
because, we have 50 little mini states, mini countries, because it's everybody.
which is what makes it just a little bit complicated. I've had to learn all that, and I was like, I am so confused right now.
Yeah, I went to Ireland last year for season 2, and we shot almost the whole season there. And everyone's like, well, we're trying to get in. We're in this many states, that many states, but it's like 50 different countries, which I thanks a lot, Prohibition.
Well, one advantage that we have is that the distributor here is Sazerac, and because they are available everywhere, that makes it easier for me.
For sure.
It's their problem, not mine.
For sure, yep.
We've been working with them for like 30 years as well. So generally speaking, we like to work with other family-owned independent companies. So Sazerac's not a small one, but still fits that bill.
Yep, love Sazerac. They're some great people.
So
All
let's
right.
have a little taste of the 30.
Sure.
So 30 is one we would describe as limited release. So we do release some every year, but quantities are limited. So the 30, if I'm not mistaken, we did 9,000 bottles worldwide this year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's not bad, right?
That's really
The
good.
40 is even more limited, so I think it was 2,400 bottles.
I get a little peat on the very end, on the finish. Is that supposed to be?
So basically, we did used to use a little bit of peat when we malted ourselves.
Okay.
And in the case of the 30, we did stop malting more than 30 years ago, but the casks get used a couple of times. So it's possible like you had a second fill cask in there where the first fill was old enough that they would have had some
That
peat. So
makes
you
sense
get that
because
tiny, tiny little.
it doesn't, it's not on the front at all. It's like literally after you swallow, you're like, oh wait, there's
a
some
little bit there.
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely. See, that's my kind of peat. I'm not a big peat person.
I'm a Speyside girl, so
Me too.
I mean,
Where's your glass? Solange, that's it. I'm a Speyside girl. I mean, guys, Speyside.
absolutely. Even though it's actually something I get asked a lot, why does the label say Highland when it's a Speyside whiskey? Speyside was a sub-region of the Highlands. It wasn't its own region. That has changed now, but when you're the fifth generation of your family to own the distillery, you say, I don't care that you've changed your rules.
Yeah.
I'm not changing my label. So any Speyside can call itself a Highland, but not every Highland can call itself a Speyside.
It's funny is every time, like, again, when what are you doing here? And I tell them, oh, what's your favorite whiskey? I said, oh, I can't. No.
There are too many good ones.
There's too many things. And I said, here's what I can tell you. Almost everything in the Speyside region, I like. And I will, if I'm somewhere and I'm looking at the stuff and they don't have a big selection, I will look for something Speyside. Speyside is my favorite Scotch.
And have you been to visit?
I have.
Did you come to see us?
I tried.
And if not, why not?
Well, you know, I was on a tour and it was not one of the ones we drove by it. And I was like, but there's Glenfarclas.
Next time.
Yeah, next time.
You have to let me know.
Yes. Well, this is fantastic. I love it. And Deb, thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.
And would you like to tell our audience anything else that is like coming out or something?
So, 30, 35, and 50 are all
Wait, now
destined
50, that's what I need. Do you have a 50
go.
here? You don't have a 50.
Not officially.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
Maybe we'll see.
I
There
just
might
turned
be a
50.
little tiny little dribble left.
I think we're going to have a little 50. Shh, don't say.
And the other one, which is really fun, that we're also doing the paperwork for just now, is 16-year-old 105. So limited edition 105. It is 60% ABV like all the 105s, but it's got a 16-year-old age statement on it.
Wow.
It's been out in the rest of Europe since about February, so it's still quite a recent one.
Okay.
And we will have that one, hopefully, but super limited, so please don't get too excited. If I'm not mistaken, there are 360 bottles coming to the US.
All right, everybody look for it.
But that's as much as any market got. That was the maximum allocation that any market got.
That's amazing. Deb, thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.
You being on the show today. Thank you. Cheers.
My name is Gareth Howells, and I'm the North American Single Malt Whiskey Ambassador for Bacardi USA.
Gareth, it is so nice to meet you here.
Well, thank you very much for swinging by. We really appreciate it. I mean, we've got some phenomenal whiskey here, of course. Highland Single Malt Distillery from 1898. And I've actually just poured you a little something that maybe we can get on the shop. Not released yet, but to be released in the next few weeks.
That smells delicious.
So this is a continuation of Stephanie McLeod and Aberfeldy's wine cask
Stephanie.
finish series.
I met Stephanie.
So for those of you who don't know, Stephanie McLeod is a Master of Malts for Aberfeldy, 5 times winner of the IWC Master Blender of the Year Award, first ever female recipient, and still current holder.
Yep.
So to say she's top of her game would not be an understatement.
No, she is one of my idols, I must say.
But the one thing that Stephanie has been doing is releasing a series of whiskies in between either at that 15 or 18-year-old age statement with wine cask finishes. This is the latest iteration. Soon to come out, it's a 15-year-old Aberfeldy, which is then finished in Cadillac, white wine casks. And for those of you who don't know, we're looking at a sweet white Bordeaux. So coming from the Entre-de-Mer region, but it really is quite beguiling, this whiskey. Floral, toffee. I get like yellow stone fruits, like peach. But it really is something quite special, and I hope you enjoy it.
All right, here we go. Cheers.
Lunch.
Solange.
43% ABV.
OMG, that's good.
Looking around about a 7-month finish in those Cadillac casks. But what do you think?
Oh, this is one of the best drams I've had tonight. This is really good. When is it available?
Well, we'll definitely give the feedback to Stephanie, but yeah, it's been very well received. And I really appreciate you coming around to say hi. Thank you. And also, most importantly, for the support on Spotify.
So good. So good. So how old is this one again?
So it's a 15-year-old, which then has that white wine cask finish.
Stephanie has outdone herself again, as usual, because she's fantastic.
In case anyone was wondering, it's actually really difficult to represent her whiskies. They're so good, they just speak for themselves. So really, I'm not needed to do anything, neither is the team in the US, other than just turn up and bore for people.
Yeah, so I met Stephanie at an event a few months back, and she was actually in LA, which was like, everyone's like, oh, she's going to be here for 2 days. You got to like come. And it was amazing. She hosted this tasting, and it was great, and I got to meet her, and she's fantastic, and I love that you're here today with this. It was so good to meet you. Thank you so much, and cheers. Salam Jabba.
Thank you very much.
My name is Alex Goode. I'm the National Portfolio Ambassador for Campari's Luxury Division. I'm here representing the Glen Grant today.
Alex, it is so good to see you here.
It's great to see you too.
Thank you so much for inviting me in.
Yeah.
And I see you have a bunch of stuff here that I would love to taste. But before we do that, tell me a little bit about Glen Grant.
Yeah, so today I've got the Glen Grant. We've got the core 4, if you will. We've got our 12, our 15, our 18, and our oldest permanent expression as of today, the 21. We do have a 70-year-old that was released a few months ago that sold for about $100K a bottle. There are only 7 of them made, so we don't really count that in the core range. Have you had any of our delicious Glen Grants? You said you had, right?
I have, but I have not had the one from today.
Okay, cool. So we're going to jump right up today to the Glen Grant 18. Now, the Glen Grant is a little-known distillery with 183 years distilling history out of Rothes Speyside. The 18 has won the best single malt Scotch whiskey in the world 3 years in a row by Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible. We are a Speyside single malt, so we're not Scotch. We're not smacking in the face with any peat. It's a very approachable, very easy drinking.
Speyside is my favorite region of.
Well, cheers to that. I'll agree to that. What do you think?
Wow.
Somebody once said that not a single molecule in this juice is out of place. And I have to say, this is one of the most perfectly balanced single malts I've ever had. The 18, I would say, is the most emblematic of the Glen Grant. Again, it's a very light, it's very floral. Sometimes I get notes of ice cream. Do with that information what you will. But for an 18, economically speaking, $150 is not going to break the bank.
No, it's fantastic. This is really good.
Our 12, I would say the 18 drinks obviously like a more mature version of the 12. It's 6 years older, of course. But I mean that. I think when you try the 12, it's lovely. It's sessionable. It's easy drinking. At $40-50 a bottle, you can't beat it. Right. For $150 for an 18, I think this is probably one of the best bets on the market. Hey, the paparazzi over there.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think this is really nice. I would love to taste you on the 21 if you have time.
Please.
All right. So this is the 21.
It's the legal age, right? So
this bottle is legal itself to drink. So where the 18 is 43% chill filtered, the 21 jumps that up. It's 46% and non-chill filtered. So it's going to be a little bit creamier on your palate. This is going to be absolutely beautiful nose. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's a lot. There's a lot going on in that one.
There is.
Yeah.
So good.
It's bold. It makes no apologies for what it is. But the biggest difference is this is going to jump up to 46% ABV. It's non-chill filtered. Also, it's a perfect blend, roughly 50-50 of a mix of ex-Oloroso sherry and second fill ex-bourbon.
It's fantastic. It's delicious. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Lovely chatting with you.
Cheers. Hi there, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. What is your name, sir?
I'm John Kennedy.
John Kennedy.
Yep, and I'm a director at the Bonnington Distillery.
Tell me about the Bonnington Distillery.
So the Bonnington Distillery is in Edinburgh, in Scotland. So it's one of the 3 new distilleries that have opened up in the capital city in the last few years. So ourselves, Holyrood and Portleaf.
Fantastic.
So the owner of the brand initially was John Crabby.
Okay.
So John Crabby dates back to 1801. That's where we can trace our whiskey roots all the way back to 1801.
That's awesome. Can I trace some whiskey down my
Certainly.
stomach? I've got to try some here.
Brought to pour the inaugural. So this was our first ever bottling
Okay.
from the distillery. It's been matured in a ruby port cask.
Oh, yum.
So 50, I think it's 52% ABV. So because it's matured in ruby port, it's very sweet.
Oh, wow. That's got a
It's got a
beautiful
lovely sort of pink tint to it as well because of the cask.
It's hard to tell with this glass. This glass is gorgeous, but yes, look
See
at
from
that.
there.
All right, let's see.
So it's laid down in 2020, so it's quite a young whiskey, but because it's been matured in ruby port, it's got a lot of the flavours in
Very
the
good.
cask.
It does.
So we're ready to bottle it. And that was our very first release from the Bonnington Distillery.
That's
The other
lovely.
one we have with us is the second bottling. That only got bottled last week.
Oh, wow.
That's a sherry cask release. So it's 4 casks of Pedro Jimenez sherry that have been bottled, say 47%, so non-chill filtered.
Okay, hold on. Let me try to.
So
finish
again, it's not finished. It's matured in the sherry.
this is really good. Thank you. Well, that's lovely too.
Very sweet. Yeah.
Very sherry. I can smell the sherry a lot.
It's like I say, because it's been matured for it's about 4 years old, I think.
Wow.
I know.
Those are both delicious. So tell me a little bit about how you guys started the company after all these years.
So we actually bought the brand back, and it was known for its ginger wine, John Crabby ginger wine. And it wasn't until we delved into the archives we found all these amazing stories dating back to 1801.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
So it was initially very much like the Johnny Walker story. John Crabby was a greengrocer from Edinburgh. He then moved into importing and exporting spices like ginger, etc. And that's where there's the symbol of the company is an elephant. It's because the elephants used to load on the spices to the boats in India.
Oh, wow.
Then he became a whiskey blender, so started exporting whiskey.
Okay.
And then he actually built his own distillery in Edinburgh back in the 1830s. So we're just trying to bring back that John Crabby story. Bonnington's the area in Leith where the distillery is built. So that's why we called it the Bonnington Single Malt.
I love it. I wish you guys the best. This
Thank
is
you very
really,
much.
really good. And I hope all the luck with everybody running around here today. And I hope you go home with nothing left.
Yeah, me
because
too.
everybody's going to drink it.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Don't touch that device. We'll be right back with Jim O'Connor.
Unleashed Coffee is a farm-to-cup adventure like no other. Step into a world where exceptional flavors, tantalizing aromas, and rich mouthfeel take you on a journey from your kitchen to the picturesque coffee plantations at origin. At Unleashed Coffee, we believe in fostering connections between coffee lovers and the hardworking farmers behind each bean. Join the journey through our coffee subscription program and gain access to our exclusive online community, connecting you to fellow enthusiasts and the producers of your morning brew. To help you extract every nuance of flavor from our beans, take part in our on-demand coffee brewing courses right in the comfort of your own home. If you are seeking B2B coffee solutions that go beyond just beans, our comprehensive wholesale packages cater to the diverse needs of mobile carts, farm stands, restaurants, cafes, retail shelves, and more. Look no further than Unleashed Coffee to quench your thirst for quality coffee. Use coupon code COFFEEBRC at the checkout to receive 10% off your first purchase at unleashedcoffee.com.
We are here to talk about Western Spirits, which I've never heard of until I got here today. So Jim is going to tell me all about it. Jim, tell me about Western Spirits.
Well, Western Spirits is a top 40 U.S. spirit supplier. We're headquartered out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Our primary focus is our whiskey, although we do have some ready-to-drinks. We have some vodkas. Probably the two best-known brands of ours. For a premium whiskey, we do a flavored line called Bird Dog, made with Kentucky straight bourbon, natural flavoring. And then as a super premium, we have Calumet Farm.
Oh, Calumet Farm.
Calumet Farm is one of these fantastic bourbons that offers a wonderful drinking experience. We're available at really exciting age statements. Our opening level is an 8-year-old, 90 proof. Fantastic. It's a delicious whiskey. We go up through a 10-year-old, through a 15-year-old, to a 16-year-old.
Wow.
I think the bourbon drinking community has enjoyed us because they've been able to get nicer, well-aged bourbons that were available, that they didn't have to stand in line for, that they could enjoy, and that they could go back and get another one when they were done with it. So
So here's a question. First of all, can you get this in California?
You can, yes, absolutely. We're in all 50 states.
Wow, that's a feat in of itself right there with the triple tier business, whatever. Now, how long has the company been, this particular brand, how long has this particular brand been?
This brand has been out for about 12 years now. So when it started out, it was just a small batch bourbon. And over the years, as our stores have aged and gotten more depth to their flavor, we've added different extensions to the lineup. So our opener now is an 8-year-old. And again, our current oldest is a 16-year-old.
That's fantastic. 8 + 8 is 16. So there you go. Now, do you guys have your own distillery, or do you source, or do you work with a contract?
We work with a contract. We have it made to our mash bill, which is 74% corn, 18% rye, 8% malted barley. And then we have a team of master blenders in Bowling Green who will go through the barrels. We have our own warehouses up there, and they'll make the batches and make these fantastic bourbons.
Fantastic. So can we taste some of this
Absolutely. Good stuff? So let's start with this 8-year-old. What I enjoy about this 8-year-old is, in of itself, this is a very well-aged bourbon.
We're very classy here with our Caesar's paper cups.
We had not quite set up yet. So.
I know. I surprised these guys. I just knocked on the door. Hey, can I come in and try some stuff? Talk to Jim?
This is the way to enjoy it anyways. So what I think you'll find in this, you'll have these wonderful, bright, lovely caramel and butterscotch notes up front. At 18% rye, you are knocking on what they would call a high rye bourbon's door. You're not quite there, but it really pops. These have been aged in deeply charred barrels, level 4. They call it the alligator char, where the wood begins to crack, resembling an alligator skin.
Now, is it the same mash bill for all of these?
It is. Yes. It was all the same whiskey, just as it got older.
I'm going to taste it. It's hard. It's not a really good sniffing cup.
No.
Well,
you gotta almost like, get in there. Isn't it?
See, I'm a rye lover. So when you get to the high rye bourbons, that's when I'm like, yes. Yeah. That's very delicious. Very, very delicious.
To go from the 8 now, we go to a 10-year-old. Again, the same whiskey, but now it's 2 years older. We go up to 100 proof. One of the things I really love about this line is it is mellowed so nicely in the barrels that I don't think one of these drinks at its proof. I think when you drink these...
What was the proof on the first one?
90 on the 8-year-old.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it's surprising. It's just fantastic mouthfeel. It's got a full flavor. Calumet Farm for us is really important. We are a company out of Kentucky. We love the state. We love everything about it. Calumet Farm has an actual tie-in to our brand. It is, in its heyday, was the champion race farm in the world. There have been 8 Kentucky Derby winners, 8 Preakness winners. There's been 2 Triple Crown winners. So we also try to kind of romanticize a little.
Which Triple Crown winners were they?
Oh, it was Whirlaway and Citation.
Okay, nice.
And we have commemorative bottles on that. Our 15-year-old is a Whirlaway edition. The 16-year-old, which we'll try last, is the Citation edition, probably the most famous horse to come out of Calumet Farm. This horse on the 10-year-old is Bull Lee. Bull Lee was more famous as a stud horse and breeding championship thoroughbreds. Bull Lee is the father of Citation.
So, of course. See, that's how you got to get the gene going on there.
Absolutely. And I think it's kind of cool to highlight that with the whiskey because it's just, bourbon is such a part of America. Obviously, it can be made anywhere in the U.S., but there's just an affinity for Kentucky. And there's just something about Kentucky straight bourbon, and there's something about Kentucky and horses.
Definitely something about Kentucky and horses for sure. All right, let's try the 16.
Americana, and it's so delicious on top of it. So now we go up to 106 proof, 16 years old. A wonderful cherry note starts to emerge now that really isn't in the 8 and the 10. And if it is, it's in there a little faintly. So now again, even...
Yeah, I can, not that the nose is really easy in this paper cup, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely got a different nose for sure.
And the fun thing about the Calumet Farm line, I think in general, is it shows the wonder that wood does to whiskey over the years. Because again, you're looking at the same mash bill, you're looking at the same water sources, the same yeast strains, and you're just seeing what happens over time with that mash bill.
That is amazing. Oh.
I can't remember if I poured one yet. I may not have. Any excuse?
I don't know. I can't decide if I like the 10 or the 16 better. They're both different, like really different compared, even though it's the same mash bill.
Well, I think 6 years is a very long time.
Do you only have the one barrel that you put it in, or do you have a finishing barrel? How does that work?
We don't do any finishing. Strictly right. We just take those level 4, charred virgin oak, and just let the weather and the wood work its magic. They're all have been aged in. They start out in just traditional barn-like Kentucky rickhouses. Some of the 16 towards the end of its life was more in a moderated climate control facility. And it's done wonders for it.
And what are the price points on these bad boys?
You're looking for the 8-year-old, $49, for the 10-year-old, $79, and for the 16-year-old, $159.
Oh, wow, that's a big jump.
Yeah, well, it's 6 years is a lot of time in whiskey, and don't forget, in that 6 years, there's been really substantial loss of profit.
Right, there's a lot of angel share stealing.
Away. Yeah, I remember talking to one of our master blenders, and I'd asked him, with the 16 in particular, where we were probably currently sitting in these barrels, and he said some of the barrels had 30% or less. Meaning 70% or more was gone from the barrel already. So
that's days like that. I wish I was an angel, just so that I could be taking that.
I'm kind of happy to get this side of it too, though.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that when I go to heaven, hoping that I go to heaven, that I will get to come back and be an angel share stealer. And wouldn't that be the best?
I'd rather do that than be a guardian angel. I'd rather just sit around all day.
Guardian angel's too much work. That's too much work. Like you work all your life. You should get to retire when you're in heaven, right?
Absolutely. Yep. So this one, I do agree with you. It's got just they all start out bright, and they all start out with this robust kind of like sweet kick at first where you're like, ooh, that's really nice. They never approach cloying. They're just sweet and lovely. And then you always get kind of that wood spice, and that rice spice comes in on the tail end, and they just linger on their finish. So
that's fantastic. Now tell me a little bit more about Bird Dog.
So now Bird Dog, we start out with a Kentucky straight bourbon, and then we naturally flavor it. It's a really fun brand. Let me see. I'll go grab one here. So let's see what we got just coincidentally sitting back here. We have a s'mores, which is really, let's just do this one. Let's do this one.
S'mores.
Let's have some more s'mores. One of the things that I like about this is the category itself, flavored whiskey. When we started the company, we started out with a blackberry, and then a year later, a peach whiskey.
Ooh, blackberry sounds lovely.
Really good. You put it in lemonade. Just on its own, it's fine, but it's fantastic. And I remember going into, stores, and you would show these to guys, and the buyers just were like, that's never going to be a thing. Flavored whiskey is never going to, because nothing had really blown up yet, even some of the biggest brands. And
well, vodka do it. Vodka can do it, then whiskey can do it. Wait. If vodka can do it, whiskey can do it better.
That's what I thought. Because vodka is wonderful, right? I mean, obviously there's a reason people like drinking it, but I always say what vodka tends to do is it makes something non-alcoholic into an alcoholic beverage, where whiskey has flavor. Where like the pinnacle of a fantastic vodka was always, not to allude to a brand just, but the height of a fantastic vodka was that it was odorless, colorless, flavorless. Where flavored whiskey, you do taste the whiskey. And I think it's brought people into the category who then enjoy it and then go on to some of the straight whiskeys.
Do you have statistics? Would you say that there's more women trying the flavored whiskeys than men?
We do have some statistics. I can't recite them right off the top of my head, but there's no question.
You mean you didn't prepare for this interview?
Not at all. I'm just drinking right now. No,
I mean, hey, it's day setup. If I had given him more than, hi, my name is Keri, notice, then,
We are, the blenders who work for us are amazing. One of the things I like in wine.
Oh, that toasted smell.
Right, because you're going to have multiple flavors in this. You should taste the graham cracker, the marshmallow. The marshmallow should be toasted, the chocolate. You taste them all, and the bourbon.
I could just sit around smelling this all day. I don't even know if I'm going to like it, but smelling it, I mean, I smell s'more. I mean, This is what smells like last summer when I was having a barbecue, and at the end of the night we made s'mores with the kids, and the parents were, not the parents, all the single ladies, were drinking whiskey with their s'mores, and that's exactly what this reminds me of.
Oh, it's ridiculously good. It's and there's no reason that there can't be softer, gentler, easy ways to get into whiskey, right?
Winner, chicken dinner.
It's crazy good. You could literally just make a milkshake with this, and it would be like the perfect adult milkshake. One of our customers.
And wait, it actually tastes like whiskey and s'mores.
It's whiskey. It's what it is. It's whiskey and s'mores. It's fantastic.
Cameraman is nodding. Yes, it does.
Bourbon is flavorful, right? I mean, it just is on its own. And there's a sweet element to bourbon. I think that's why it's such a good base for doing some fun flavors. And we had a customer who had done these and had done a s'mores White Russian using this as the base, a little bit of chocolate drizzle on the glass. I think even like a graham cracker crushed rim. Yeah, this is just fun, right? It's just a good time.
So out of all the bird dogs, which one is your favorite?
Boy, I'm a fan of the black cherry. And I'll tell you, the reason I love it is cherry in general is a very difficult flavor to match up to alcohol because you just have that childhood memory of when you weren't feeling well and your mother gave you cough syrup. Cherry was a common flavor. And there's that hard to fight correlation in your mind. You're like, this just reminds me, and ours doesn't. But that's what I like about it. I like that it's just delicious on its own. But if you put it in a mule, it is so good with ginger beer. If you're ever at a bar and they have Bird Dog Black Cherry, order a Black Cherry Mule. It is silly good. It's just one of those things that just works perfectly. I think our fan favorite by far to the consumer is our peach. People love Bird Dog Peach. Bird Dog Peach is our number one seller by a country mile. And, we have accounts that have a lot of luck just doing peach teas, simple, easy drink. And what's more fun than a peach tea on a nice summer day?
I mean, peach is very summery and spring and could be into the fall. The s'mores is fantastic.
After this, these are really profoundly nice whiskeys, right?
They are, but this is just fun.
Right.
I mean, it's
supposed to be a little snobbery. We're like,
you know what? This was our main entree and this was dessert.
This is dessert.
So fantastic. Well, Jim, it's been fantastic getting to know you and this beautiful lineup of food. See, s'mores, food, beautiful lineup of beverages. And I wish you guys all the luck.
Thanks for walking in. I appreciate it.
All right.
I appreciate you very much.
That does it for today's show. To read notes on this episode or learn more about our guests, please visit barrelroomchronicles.com. Want to interact with the show or have questions for our guests? Then ask them on our socials or send us an email. Or better yet, leave us a voicemail on our website. If you like what you heard, please rate and subscribe to the podcast. If you really liked it and you want to show your support, buy us a whiskey through our Ko-fi site at ko-fi.com/BRC or become an exclusive member of the Barrel Room Parlor. If you work in the whiskey or spirits industry or just have a deep passion for whiskey and want to share your spirits journey, register to be a guest through our website. Last but not least, please enjoy your spirits responsibly. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, Solangeaba.
Barrel Room Chronicles is a production of First Reel Entertainment and is available on Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, Amazon, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.